Oh, like a whole center ball?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Having it up. 14 years.
You know how that hits.
So it's like, I'll put it back.
All right, now here we go. Welcome to Be Your Live Stream. As always, thank you all very much for joining. You see quite a small crowd coming in right here at the beginning. Mr. Samir Mohamed and David Williams both have been out here a few times. Samir's definitely got a few extra games, a few extra matches, excuse me, on his side. We're coming out here, but David's spent his share of time out here also. Dave's a little bit more of a one-pocket player. A lot of times he's come out. Came up a little bit short last time that he played. I think he played Jose. It's been a few months now. And, of course, Samir coming off a big win against Evan On. Is he going to get unlucky? Looks like that one's going to sneak out. So, good shot for David starting off here. A little bit of a roll going his way. So we apologize for not having as many matches as usual lately. Had to do a little traveling, some family coming in town and us going out of town and all that kind of fun stuff. And I got one more trip planned in another week, but between now and then, try to get the content that y'all want to be able to see. We got a tournament tomorrow coming up. I'll give you a little bit more information on that as we move forward. Dave with a nice draw shot there. Looks like he's going to set himself up nicely for that 8-ball back down here in the corner pocket. It doesn't look much prettier than that. David's starting off with big strides, break and run right off the bat. Yeah, like I said before, David's you'll see a little bit of a different game out of the two of them, considering they got very different styles of play. Both of them play 9-ball league players, APA and tap. David plays a fair amount of one pocket, pretty good shot at it too. Don't tell him I said that. And David, if you go back and listen to this, you didn't just hear that. He shoots pretty good, but cue ball control, being able to move the cue ball around a little bit. It's I think he may have a little bit of advantage on this game, but we've seen Samir come out and put a pretty good stick on this table and take out some pretty good wins, so there's no way in this world I would ever count him out. Mr. Collins, how's it going? And it's tough to disagree. The David on paper would typically get this one. I think he's got a little bit more practice since his last time that he made it out here with us. Next, last time we were actually joking around a little bit ago, and he told me that if by chance he shoots like he did last time, please not laugh at him. And I promised him that if he shoots like he did last time, that I would laugh at him, and I would mark the times that I did just so he can go back and listen. David's a longtime good friend of mine, good friend of a lot of players that I know, and some very good shots. So he definitely has a tendency to learn from some of the best. And the way he started off so far is obviously not changing that thought process. Still looking good. But he also said at the beginning of this that it was not going to be a repeat. And the way he's starting off, he is holding up to that promise. drilling East center pocket. That's about the only way would kind of speed he's been using. It's very confident shots that we're seeing up here. Jimmy, do one thing if you can check. So one of the things on Facebook, if it's looking a little bit blurry, if you can take a look at what the quality is set, it may just be a little bit lower at the time. Obviously, a lot of that's going to depend on the quality of the internet at the time, but sometimes it just knocks it down a little bit low. Make sure that since you're on the Facebook stream, that it's at 720. Our YouTube stream goes all the way up to the full 1080. But if it's blurry, then that would be a bit surprised. We do kind of pride ourselves on hopefully having what looks like a good stream. That last shot there from David, great shot. Turned something from a pretty bad roll into one heck of a leave out here. Sticks it right behind the 9 ball, and not only does Samir have to make sure that he gets over that 9, but he has to do it with a decent little cut on the 8 and slow it down. His first shot at the table comes with a jump shot. That's tough. Right. David's defense comes out successful. Ball in hand, 2 balls to go. I've stopped making predictions because I messed up all of my friend shots, and just for the record, I did not say that he was gonna run this one out. Whoops. Okay, but if I did, he ran it out anyway. Nice out by David there. Got a little funny on that 9 ball, but shot making ability comes through for him again. No problem, Jimmy. Glad you found that one. But always good to point it out because I could very easily have something set wrong on my end. And so you actually just confirmed 2 things. And number 1, that the stream quality is good and that you can hear me. So you accomplished all that I needed to accomplish, so I appreciate it. David, rack number 3, coming off that break. Solid the first couple of times, as long as you make a ball on a break and get a shot on the 1. And he's done that the first 2. Don't expect anything to change for this one. Like he's going to be sitting. Cue ball did ride up a little bit high on him, but so many different options here. 2 balls kind of in a funny spot. I wouldn't expect him to try for this one. Looks like he's got some room to be able to get that cue ball behind a whole lot of things. Put that 1 ball up on this top rail. Could even send that 1 ball down table. Does decide it didn't get behind anything, but leaves a difficult cut. And what makes it even worse is you see where that 2 ball is. You can make that 1 ball all day long, but you're gonna get a clear shot on that 2. So that's a tough one. So twice now, Samir coming to the table. Things looking a little bit difficult, and I'm not in Samir's head, but I don't think I'm gonna try to make this one. I might try to stick that 1 ball back down by that 2, down at the other end of the table. See how he decides to play it. Like he might have been trying to separate him out, squeaks past. I think David might have a path to go around 3 rails. A little tight if he does decide to do that. He's going to have to get on that bottom rail down there. But I guess it's that easy. Is it going to stay? A little tough to tell if... Yeah, it's definitely, if we switch overhead, you can definitely see that you can't see the whole thing, but I think the English got him a little bit on that, but he actually ends up a little lucky. Yeah, looks like Samir's looking for that 2-9 combo, and can't blame him for that. Muhammad Ali, how's it going? Nice to see you out of that tournament a few weeks ago. Yeah, he actually played that one really well. Got a lot of separation on that cue ball. Ends up getting, looks like he's behind 5 down there. David for the first time on the defensive side of it, and has to figure out how to get to that 2 ball. So the way they're playing this one, they actually are calling all shots. There is no 3-foul rule. But they are playing if a ball randomly goes in on a pocket that you didn't call, opponent's choice on who shoots next. Thank you, Mohamed. I appreciate that. That was a great tournament that that Jeannie put on over there. I know she's got another one coming up this weekend, which actually, I'm not sure if she's running that one or not, to be honest with you. I know there's another Jeanette Lee tournament that's coming up. We've actually got a couple of tournaments coming up this weekend. One that my wife's actually running, which unfortunately that conflicts a little bit with the Jeanette Lee tournament. Again, we'll have a little bit more information on that here in just a little bit. But regardless, this coming weekend, there is no reason to not be playing pool, unless you want to call yourself busy. A couple of great tournaments coming up, and even a few more on the weeks to come up here. So plenty of opportunity, and can't find any action there. You should be giving us a call and finding a match over here. Mohamed, is Carrie, is she doing one over at oh good Lord. Where's she doing that tournament at? I know, as expected, we're definitely seeing a lot of tournaments pop up for Jeanette Lee, and would expect nothing less. She's definitely an idol and a staple, and always has been in the beard community. I don't think there's anybody that shoots pool on any form of a regular basis that doesn't know who that lady is. And yes, Capone's is what I was trying to think of, but I don't believe the one at Strokers this weekend, David. I don't know if that's if that one is also being run by Jeannie Seaver or not. I was thinking for some reason that was somebody else that was actually running that one. A little bit of cut here on the 8-ball. If he makes it, I mean, position's built in. He just has to keep from scratching, but even that should be no reason for it. Get even a little bit of just straight top English. Touch of inside if you get scared about it. So he only needs to concentrate on making that 8. He's going to have a very makeable shot on that 9. Undercuts it just a little bit. David's going to have the same option. David's is a little bit different here in the sense that that one could scratch, but he's not going to hit it that hard, so no real concerns there. Nice little shot up table. Ball. 3-0. David off to a big start. Once again, kind of keeping up his promise. So their rank, as far as Fargo, to be honest, not sure. I did not look it up, so I have not done my job. When it comes to like your APA and TAP, I know that David Williams in APA he's a 7, like a lot of the people that come out here. In 8-ball, he's an 8. In 9-ball, Samir is the same. So they're pretty evenly ranked as far as that goes. I think David's 1 point higher in TAP on 9-ball. Otherwise, very close matchup on paper. Again, David does have a little bit more of a one-pocket background, and it's such a big deal on being able to play, especially longer races. Makes for quite a different game. We'll get to some of those flyers here in just a few minutes when we get in between games. Good start on this game. That 3 does go by that 4-ball into the corner pocket, so he doesn't have to do too much with this one. Just bounce off the rail a little bit. It's just that. Good shot. 3 has plenty of room. That transition from the 4 to the 5 might be a little bit different story. I'm surprised they haven't moved the magic rack yet. If David walks back in, they'll probably sort of tag team that one a little bit. I see that most of the times out here where both players will kind of join in, one picking up the balls and the other moving the rack. I think only once in all the matches we've had out here somebody said that if you have to move the balls, then the rack's going to stay where it is. And I think it's more of a shark move than an actual consideration that the balls might move. That was probably a good miss there. We'll see how it works out, but I'm not sure if I would have wanted to make it. Looks like he actually left it pretty good, but that 9, or excuse me, that 5 going by that 9 into that opposing corner pocket, it's pretty thin. There's not a whole lot of pocket to work with there. Maybe take a look and see how much is sitting on there. One of them is definitely gonna have to move it if they want to get it out of there. They were going to try to take it to the other corner. Much smarter shot on that side. A lot more to shoot for. They've taking a good long look at that one. He knows it's going to be pretty close to a split hit. Wow. So this would be one of those choices that we were talking about before where Mohamed, Samir does have the option to give it back if he wants to. I can almost promise you that he's going to go ahead and not only take the shot but play a defense on it. Long stretch on that shot. I'm looking around for the bridge. I have no idea where I put that thing. It's probably under the table. Let's see if I can help him out real quick. Oh, it is. Yeah, there we go. Cool, they figured it out. Wanted to get that a little further over, but still got that separation. David still needs to come with a shot or play defense. He's got a whole lot of options. He could put that cue ball back on that bottom rail, send that 5 back up table. Looks like that's what he's going to do. Didn't quite catch that one like I believe he wanted to. Mir's back in that position that just make the shot. It's close to the rail and all the way down table, so it's not a hanger. Got a straight enough stroke to be able to take care of this one. Even David and out over here. Take that all the way up table or on the side. Bobbles the pocket, gives Samir a second chance. I bet he takes full advantage of this one. Probably wanted a couple more feet on that one, but again, you're just fine at where he's sitting. Very makeable shot going down table here. And thank you. Hopefully I'm saying it right, but thank you, Cassie, for saying it's a great production. We definitely try our best out here. Samir kind of jumping up on that last shot, I bet, and a little unexpected miss on that one. Finds its way into the side pocket. David's got kind of one of those spot shots, but again, this kind of goes to this that whole one pocket thing. This is something he's used to, so yeah, not much doubt he's going to drill that one. One pocket player that doesn't shoot a spot shot well, well, they might want to pick a different game. David did not prove me wrong on that one, so thank you, David, for that. I know he always goes back and listens, so I know he's going to tune in later on. So 4-0. David off to one hell of a start. You'll see the score change. So there's a couple of different ways that things work here. So for anybody that hasn't been able to tune in to us before, we'll see in just a second whenever we start to walk in that direction. We'll switch the cameras over. You can see that scoreboard that's back on the back. That actually feeds in our live stream so that the players are actually the ones that that keep up with the score. We do that for a very particular reason, and that is, and every player seems to agree, even if they end up on the short side of it, is at the end of the night, you've forgotten to mark up scores. This isn't the scorekeeper's fault. It's not the announcer's fault. Not anybody's fault. It's that you forgot to put down a score. So we try to watch it close on this side to make sure that the score stays correct in one direction. It's up to the players to kind of watch it in the other direction. So if you cheat yourself, well, that's something you don't want to do too often. Okay, we got a little bit of a tougher shot here. And once again, kind of expect this one to go more of a defensive route. Even if he makes it, at 2 looks like it's going to have a tough time getting by that 8. And try to take care of a little business now. May have a little bit more room, but I think if we look up here, the only way that 2 ball is going in that pocket is off the side of that 8 ball. Samir will keep that in mind whenever he shoots this next one. Mr. Philip Trader, how's it going? Looks like you might have ended up okay on this one. David had way more room than I thought he did. Alright, I need more cameras. 5's not going to cover it anymore. Somehow or another, these players are finding ways around it. Two ball looks like it clears by that 4 without too much trouble. One of those that I think you're just got to be a little bit careful of. Start trying to put a little too much English on it. It starts throwing that ball around. That's something that's caught him a couple of times. And looked like he tried to keep it simple there. It might have just kind of overthought it a bit and a little bit short on the shot. Get a little lucky with the roll, but we'll see if David just bumps it and leaves it behind that 4. Squeezes out the side. Caught a little strong. Mir coming back with pretty good position play. Thank you, Philip. Appreciate it. Tell you, Philip, seen some of that Q work you've been doing over there, and I tell you, I give you all the credit in the world. You've been doing one hell of a job over there. You know, you know, as you know, most of us had a person that we had put all of our tips on and take care of our cues and things like that. And with his passing, you have been filling that spot very well, and appreciate all the work. Hey, I like the comment, Cassie. Say a little bit louder next time for the people in the back. So please smash that like button. Don't forget to, as always, if you're watching it on a bigger screen, you check out our YouTube channel. You can't see it over on the right hand side, but they're actually watching it over there on a TV that's on the far side of the room over here. And it's kind of funny because you can go and mess up, and with the delays on the live stream, you've got just enough time to miss a shot, get mad about it, sit down, and it's about time for that shot to be up so that it can remind you of how bad you missed it. But it comes in very clear over there. Again, we simulcast both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. The links are in the description, so anything you can do to help us out with subscribing on YouTube, and obviously making sure that you like and follow our channel here on Facebook. I apologize for not really being able to watch the comments on both of them too closely. A lot of buttons to push, so I do what we can, but love to see it whenever we start seeing those numbers go up. Mr. Robert has us going today. Yeah, it's a little it's a little tough to not be in David's corner with the way this one's starting off. But now, if you remember, any of you that have watched Samir in the past, it's always funny because he doesn't necessarily start off that great, and you can watch time after time of where he's played some really, really strong players, players that'll give him 3, 4, or 5 games on the wire, and those games that he was given as a spot might get eaten up really quickly, and then all of a sudden it's 1 for 1. So when he gets about, well, probably about now, about 4 or 5 games into it, you see a different game starting to come out. Now, the funny thing on this one in particular is that David kind of does the same thing. I'm really interested to see what happens after the beginning of this match. Can get behind the 9? Nah, stays up just on the top side of it. Oh, but look at this. This could take a bit of a different turn here. There's no doubt in my mind he's gonna check this one out. See him pointing at it now. We know he's gonna call the 9, and again, since they're calling all shots, if that 8 ball happens to fly in and that 9 doesn't, it's not gonna work out. And none of them go in, but look at the cluster that he put in front of that 6 ball. We'll probably see Dave play this one a couple rails, see if he can't come in from the back. All right, let's see. Three balls, ball in hand. They're all sitting down here in the bottom. I think Samir's got a good chance here. But again, the commentator's curse. So I haven't said that he's going to make anything. But it is looking pretty good. And Cassie, I know that Reno person. Glad to have you. Glad you could join us on the stream. All right, looking pretty good. But again, not calling it. We'll see if this is where the turnaround starts up. Cassie, yes. Actually, roughly about a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago, we built a soundproof booth just off to the side. As a matter of fact, if we look, switch the cameras over here so you can see that window that's over there in the top left corner from where we're sitting now. There's 3 layers of glass over there, and I'm actually sitting right behind that, so that my annoying voice doesn't bother the players, and the language that they use in that room doesn't bother me. So takes care of all of it. Again, anybody that hasn't been on here before, there's definitely something different about playing in this kind of environment, because the room that they're in now, there is a radio that's actually playing. That one's filtered out so that we don't get the whole copyright thing dealing with, well, with social media. It's a very stale environment. At this point in time, like, it's the two of them, they're sitting in the room. I'm not going to say it's a large room, but it's pretty decent size, and there is nothing around but the two of them and that little radio sitting in the corner. So if you imagine, like, whenever you're shooting in tournaments or you're shooting heads up, what it actually takes for composure for some of these players to come out here and shoot when there is nothing around. There's nobody to pull you back out of the hole. There's nobody to talk to you to get you to kind of settle back down or to give advice in between and things like that. It is you, the opponent, and a table, and figure it out. So hats off to anybody that comes out here and plays, because it is definitely a test, and it can put a lot of pressure on a lot of people, and I give all of them so much credit. So even if you see somebody that doesn't look like they're shooting as well as they should, best I can tell you is schedule a match sometime. Come out here and give it a shot. It is definitely not as easy as one person might think. See, David, I hope you're listening to this one later on. Again, anybody that's been out here enough times have heard me talk about the fact that players sitting in that room and they're watching the comments on the stream, that is a bad mistake. Some players can handle it pretty well, and David's he's a pretty calm and collected person, so he doesn't get rattled by things that go on. But sometimes you see a little harassment going on, and people that are shooting matches start to respond to that, and it gets quite comical, as long as it's not your money on the line. I always advise people to sort of stay off their phones and shoot the match. All our comments on here looking pretty good. So no harassment. I think everybody knows that both these guys, they know how to shoot. They're not going to be challenging Shane Van Boening next week, but they know what they're doing. See, I wish I could see some of the people that actually join. I should pull out my phone and start looking so I can actually see whenever people are coming up. A little screen to look at doesn't tell me everybody. I see a comment that Mr. Blair, another Florida boy, just joined up with us out there. Say hello, sir. Still need to make it up there to your place. I hear it's pretty nice up there. Straight stroke there. Gonna have to. Well, actually, let's take a little bit better look at this one. I was thinking he might have to run around the table, but he does not. Well, inside English. Just go ahead and bounce that one back off the rail a little bit. Give himself a tiny bit of angle on the 7, just enough. Oh, decided to play the 8. Well, that was that could be a dangerous play, but he played it with perfection. Kind of like the cut shot, just to help out with getting back onto the top side of the 9 ball. But Samir thought otherwise, and well, he's at the one at the table, and I've got a microphone in front of me. Also the one that looks like he's going to run this one out if it'll slow down a little bit. That's a close one down there. Alright, up table in one time. Definitely wants this one to go in. 4-2 is a lot different than 5-1. Yeah, that's tough to go past that pocket. I can't disagree with the cross corner, and I know how difficult that shot is. Sometimes you just think about the cross corner because where the cue ball is going to end back up on the bottom rail if you use the right speed. Can't disagree with that one, but looks like he's gonna have one more chance, but a little bit of a cut on it. All right, nicely done. At 4-2, halfway to where he wants to be. Only behind by 2 games, so this is obviously far from over with. So if you see the flyer that we sent out before, you'll actually see where this was supposed to be race to 15. They were doing 1,000 to Miller, 500 a man. They were sitting here talking a little bit earlier. It was funny because Miller was making a couple little test hits before they started and missed a couple, and then turned around and said he wanted to raise the bet. So it was kind of a joke on that one. But they actually did raise it up. So now you can see that it's a race to 18. They raised it up at 750 a man, or 1,500 in the middle. Again, both these guys, they're not huge as far as gambling, but they really, really like the competition. That's definitely enough to make sure that they stay in the best focus they can. Samir lining this one up right down the middle of the table. Not the most obvious choice on a 9-ball break. Gets them to separate apart. Although it has a leave on the 9-ball, or excuse me, on the 1-ball, doesn't get to take advantage of it. It's hard to get those wing balls to move around from that middle spot like that. Dave with a solid shot there. Definitely has enough of a window to make sure that he gets on that 3 for the side, but he has to be careful on which side of the 8-ball, but doesn't have to worry about that on this shot. Samir is going to take advantage of it. Table size. This is a 9-foot table. Players also have the option, if you look over to the right-hand side as we are now, we've got a 7-foot table over there as well. Definitely doesn't get played on as much. When it does, it's pretty dynamic because it with a 7-foot table, like if they play 9-ball, things go really quick. On the opposing side of that, you go on a 7-foot table and play 8-ball, you see a game change completely. Everybody thinks that's a very simple game, and that is not. That is one of the things that I consider a very difficult game unless you're pinpoint accuracy on where that cue ball is going to go. It's a great shot there by Samir, leaving it behind that 6-ball, pretty close for that jump shot. So it's going to have to go up quick enough that he's going to lose a ton of accuracy He's just trying to make a hit. Does a great job of doing that. Leaves it a long way away. You see that narrow margin that Samir's going to have to make this and leave it for that 4-ball. Has to be really careful. There's not a You're not going to want to put a lot of English or try to do anything fancy considering that cue ball is sitting on that bottom rail like it is. However, it's naturally going to want to track behind that 6-ball if it gets a half a chance. Oh, Mohamed, if we could all just be rich like you. By the way, can I borrow 20? That little cut shot here. Got to watch out for that 7-ball down here. Would like to avoid that if he can. Gets way past it, but misses the shot. Luck's on his side on this one though, because takes it right behind that 9-ball. Curious to see if he's going to try to bend around. Looks like he might even be playing rail first. And he did. Is that cue ball going to get back up? Stopped by the 8-ball. Sits right in front of the pocket. Now, this is one of those funny shots, sitting right there by the corner. Seems so simple. I mean, how could you possibly not get it up to that 5-ball? Well, a whole lot of amateurs know. Try to drill this one in, send the cue ball back up table, and it will sit right on that bottom rail. Pro's best friend and the amateur's worst enemy right here. I'm sure he's played this one enough to know how to get back up there. Has to be careful. That side pocket started to get really big on that one. I think that 6-ball might have helped him out a little bit there. And I think David can still see the edge of it. Not the easiest shot in the world, and needs to slow that down a bit, as it's going to come off that 5-ball pretty hot. All right, nicely done. 5-ball tough cut. Might even try the bank. There again, he's going back to that one pocket thing. This is something he's a little bit more comfortable with. Overshoots that one a bit. All right, Samir. Your time to shine here. It's not an easy out, but play this 5-ball over to that left side rail. And come off a little bit, but be careful of how much that one's coming around. He's got to leave himself a good opportunity on that 6-ball. It starts to become a whole lot easier. Let's slow roll it. Is he going to make it? Had the right idea. Just caught it a little bit thin. Makes that cue ball roll a little bit further. They're looking pretty solid on this one. Leave himself a good angle on the 7-ball. Looks like he's going to come back across. I'll go ahead and follow that one forward. Actually, it came up a little heavy. Just stay on the. Oh, he really tried to carry that one over. That was a long distance. I was even kind of overcut that one just a bit. 7-ball stays on the table. Mirror with another opportunity.
Billy.
Just a bad luck roll. That one stops about an inch sooner. He's looking really good, but that's not the way the pull works. on the corner pocket. Looks like he's going to kick one rail at this one. That can also be dangerous. You got to be careful where that cue ball is going. Oh, is he going to get another good roll? That's it looks like it has enough room, but man, is it close. Decided to go ahead and call the bank, so I guess he doesn't feel like it's makeable in that corner pocket. This also helps him make sure that it he's going to do even better than that. But that also made sure that he didn't run into that 9 ball and end up not knowing where the cue ball was going to go. So he's got a very close to the same shot that he did on the previous one. Oh, David. Sorry, watching him through the window over here. Robert, that sounds like a great idea. Matter of fact, if you could bring your chop saw whenever you get done with it, that would be awesome. There's only a few pieces that need to go all the way around. We actually did have some up there until I decided to build this room. And then a lot of stuff came out and went back in and came back out. And then my wife had a baby, and well, we have half pieces of molding. All right, right out there by David, bringing that to 5-2. You're still looking strong. 18's a long way away. It's a great question, Cassie. So the ones we have over here, Sushi Ninja, a lot of people that watch our stream a lot actually know one of the owners of Sushi Ninja, which is a gentleman named Evan On. Great shot, and somebody that's helped us out a lot with some different equipment that we actually have here on the helping us with the live stream and things like that. He's also brought in some great competition. He's a phenomenal shot. Mr. Evan On. For any of you that have seen him but doesn't know that he is part of Sushi Ninja, which is actually how he got the nickname. And Bank Shots is a great pool hall that we have over on the other side of Tampa. We're actually over in Riverview, which is just on the east side of Tampa. Bank Shots is more on the west side of it, and they also have helped us out with some great competition, have made some wonderful donations to some of the different charities that we have driven for over here, and some good friends, great tables, great competition, everything you can ask for over there. Or some of our others that we see shooting for the future, always making sure that they help out juniors, and we do the same to help them out as much as we absolutely can. It's a new 501c that we've got, a nonprofit to help juniors to be able to get to some of the different tournaments, because as we know, even as adults as well as children, it can be very expensive for some of the travel, hotel, the different things that go along with trying to go to some of these junior tournaments that happen. But they have helped a lot of kids get up there, so trying to do our small part for the large part that they are doing. We've had we see a lot of good people over here that are willing to contribute their time, contribute efforts, their word of mouth, even their influence into helping out the billiard area and the whole greater Tampa Bay area, including Pinellas. Really has a great scene over here, and we really have some great competition, and that is in large by what so many different people have done to make sure they do their part in contributing. So we're looking pretty good here. Wants that to slow down a bit. Sure, he would have liked that to have been a little straighter, but that's okay. Play that one rail up table, come back out for that 7 ball. can see the cuts kind of concerning him a little bit. I know he's looking at the side pocket, not just the one that he's at. That change in English has to worry a little bit about both of them. That's to send it down below the pocket. Catches a little full, makes that cue ball travel a little further, but the one decent thing that happened is he's kind of jacked up over the 7 a little bit. The bad thing that happened is that 5 is sitting right beside the pocket. Ooh. Causes David to be a little bit off. Just enough to leave it. Still sitting in front of that pocket. Looks like shooting a 2-rail shot here. Called that one a little bit straight. Apparently that means that I thought he was going to shoot a 2-rail shot. Or rail first. I don't know where the 2-rail came from. Good speed there. Gave himself a routine shot on the 9. All right, nothing wrong with that. All right, just to make sure it's working over here, we'll flip this over and check. All right, looks like it's working good. I would have had that earlier for some of the greatest shots, but had that one switched off for some silly reason. David's standing on a little bit more standard side of that. Just moving all the way over about a ball's width off the side table. Side of the table. At an edge of a 1 ball. If he didn't get the leave on it that he would normally like to, the ball kind of traveled up a little bit on him. A little bit short of getting behind a 3 leaves Samir a makeable shot in this bottom left corner. And overcuts that one. David's gonna like this leave. Maybe not. Unfortunate scratch for David there as he tries to go around a couple rails to come back out for the 2 ball. Now leaves Samir with ball in hand. They're doing a nice job of moving the cue ball around. Trying not to overwork it too much. So I've got a few viewers over here. If y'all get an opportunity, and if you don't mind, I'd love for you to share this one out. Let's see how many people we can get this one up to, and that has been unfortunate shot. That's kind of where certain tables, I'm not going to say it's just diamond tables, but ones like diamond tables where they have the pro cut pockets, that it will jar a pocket in a heartbeat. Looks like we've got a few more over watching on YouTube. And before I forget, thank you all for tuning in with us. Mr. Evanson Kane, how's it going tonight? Glad you're tuning in. Ooh, comes up a little short on that one. Made a cut not too long ago. Much like this one. But this one did not go. Apparently that was a 50% shot on the last one. Michael Henry, how's it going? When are you going to set up a match? You come over here with other people, but I'm sure you got a laundry list of people you want to beat up on. Good to have you watching the stream, though. Or do I have to get Kyle to come back over here so that you'll come over? While Samir's wrecking this one, I'm actually going to step away from the mic just for a couple minutes. I was hoping to make it to the halfway point, but no, that's not going to work out. So be back in just a moment.
I don't know. Anyone in the house? Are the dogs out? Huh? Dogs out? Yep.
All right, apparently I started a trend because one of the players needs to take a break real quick. Obviously, we'll be right back. All right, players are back in. Get ready to come back up to the table. They're throwing their equipment back on. Apparently, the trend of breaks are cool is now over with. They're ready to get back to work. Mike Henry, I wish I'd seen that before I took the break, so I could have commented on the I'm retired thing before. We know you're not retired. You're just waiting for the right victim. We've met you before. We know. Green doesn't seem like he's kind of steadying up on his shots the way that I've always seen him in the past. A little odd. Kind of changed up the stroke. It might have just been that one shot coming back in from the break. We'll see as the next few shots go on. Maybe steadying back up on this one a little bit more as opposed to sort of that quick poke. One set to hurry up. I'm sure he'd like to have been pretty straight on that one. If I go across table now, might have cost him the shot a little bit. A bit of a slow roll here from Samir. Make sure he gets a little bit, but not too much angle on the 4-ball. See that 5-ball all the way up table there. That's a pretty good position right there. You can actually go forward between that 6 and 9, or take the more wide open route and kind of draw that back out a little bit. I didn't really draw, just a little bit of left English. Head that towards the right side of the table. Great shot. Looks like he left himself a very makeable angle on that 6. Unfortunately, I think that 8 and the 9 is going to be in the way from the natural. If he wanted to go back, he does still have a very good option to go forward on this one. Take this one around 3 rails. It looks like he's still trying to draw off of it. And manages to have English, but man, that comes up fast, and it's a big bounce on the top of that table. So I'm going to sit here and run my mouth for a while the mute's on. Apologize for the long silence. We'll repeat some of that and tell you that, Mike, yeah, if we could get Kyle back out here, that sure would be great. Definitely one of the nicest people that's walked in here, and assuming that it was on mute whenever I was saying this before, Kyle was actually one of the very first people that came out here that I actually did not know ahead of time. And anybody that comes out, if I don't know them, basically I just need somebody to vouch for them. It very, very short period of time to find out that multiple people knew who he was, and was very quick to say that I had nothing to worry about, that he was he's very quick to vouch for him, and no disappointment there. Super respectful. Mirror moving that needle a little bit closer, kind of turning this one around a bit. You can see that obviously, since it's wreck your own, 9 actually does not count on the break because they're doing wreck your own and using the magic rack. I know sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. In this particular case, it does not count anywhere. So one of the things you have to throw in the chat as we're moving through, or thought process, is when you go to certain games, there's very, very few variations. Straight pull, there's very few variations on the rules of that game for a particular match. Same whenever it comes to one pocket. You get to 8, 9, and 10 ball, and the rules seem to be thrown out the window. It's whatever the two people decide walking up to that one. I need to know what your thoughts are. One of the typical ways of doing 9 ball is either nothing is called, or only the 9 ball is called. 10 ball goes a little bit more to every ball is called, versus should every player, is it okay for every player to just decide which kind of rules they're playing on any particular match? There's a lot of whenever it comes to the cue sports, some of the more popular ones, snooker, we'll give as an example. You take out those variations, you know exactly what you're going to have to do going to the table. Does that make the sport better? Make it worse? What's your opinion? It's down to be able to get a shot on the 2 ball. I don't think he went quite as far as he wanted. I'm imagining from there that he was probably looking at that 2 in the side. See if we can, whether we're going to get too much of a better view here or not. It looks like he's lining up for that 2-9. That 9 does go, but it is really, really tight. Decides to go ahead and play a defense. A little off on the speed. Maybe he's got a shot all the way up table. Again, not a hanger, but a makeable shot. If he makes it, I think that cue ball is going to get out there with plenty of room to make that 3. I think it rolled down just far enough for Samir to have a shot in that side pocket. Again, you see where that 3 is. Gets a bigger swing on it, decides to go ahead and let that one roll around a little bit. Leaves himself a cut on the 3. Course pretty easy to get to. Oh, that 7's getting bigger and bigger. See that it's all over the top of that. May go ahead and decide to play this one, that bottom rail, possibly even 2 rails, but And gave it a good run at least he makes a hit, so he avoids giving David ball in hand. Comes up a little short. 4-ball goes all the way up the table. Sits right in front of the pocket. Mirror's not out of the woods. You see he's got 6 to 7, not too bad there. Wow, really puts a big stroke on that one. Gets himself into a lot of trouble, but even there, going from that 7 to the 8, not necessarily going to be a piece of cake. Oh, good hit. Is that going to find its way in? It is, and it's going to be David's choice on whether or not to come to the table. Not much doubt that, as we see, David's going to go ahead and take that opportunity. Once again, David getting a bit of a roll. Kind of stepped up and just sort of snapped into that one. I don't know if there's any kind of frustration that's going on with David, or if he just kind of underestimated that particular shot. Mr. Don Martin throwing in some stars. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Don over here is one of our fellow league players. He's been playing on the same leagues over here as I have for a long period of time. Unfortunately, David gets a bit of a scratch on that one. I've been over on this side of Tampa now for, oh goodness, roughly about 10 years or so. He's one of the first people that I met over here, and ball run out for Samir. Expect any problems to come out of this one. Moving this within a game. Use the right side of the pocket, but that's okay. Still goes in. Doesn't matter which side or middle it goes into. So while he is racking this one up, I do want to talk a little bit about, get the right screen over here. This weekend, Saturday, doors open at 12, tourney starts at 1. Fight cancer in all colors. And for those of you that are in this area, the wonderful Joanne Elftarian has been running this tournament for years, and it has always been a lot of fun. We have always enjoyed it. She has always done a wonderful job at it. This year, she has actually asked my wife if she could help with taking care of the tournament, running it, doing all the posts, things like that. So, very graciously, my wife was more than happy to take care of that for her. Joanne has still been helping with doing what she always does great, and that's talking to people and helping out with finding donations, finding different things for the raffles, as well as making sure that people knew that it was going to be happening. So that is this weekend. At the same time, we do have, I should have pulled the flyer, so I apologize for not pulling the one for the other tournament, the Jeanette Lee benefit tournament that's going on over at Strokers this weekend. So as we mentioned before, doesn't matter which tournament, we'd love to have you. I'm actually going to be streaming out of the one that's that my wife is running. But regardless, again, if you don't have any plans, you should be playing pool this weekend. So be at one of those tournaments. They're both for great causes, very similar in causes. to make sure that you make it out to one of them. A couple of other ones that we'll talk about before the match is over with. That one I'm probably going to keep reminding you of. Again, I enjoy sleeping indoors, so if my wife's running a tournament, well, I've got to promote it. No choice. Oh, it's a great shot. Full God said, no, no. Oh, that was a really nice hit there by Samir. Is he going to get lucky with it? Yeah, it's not terrible. I don't know that David's going to take a offensive approach here. Snuggle that up right behind that 5 ball. Does a great job at it. Samir's going to have a little bit of a tough time making a hit on this one. Mr. Collins, more stars. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. It's about time for you to come out here, too. Is that going to catch? Something's got to catch a rail. 2 ball did. Still good. Oh, what a great cut there. There was nothing easy about that shot, and it does not look like there's going to be a reward behind it. Try to bend that one around. Alright, there's your reward. One great shot apparently means another great shot. That's not how it works for me. Again, fly stay behind the glass. Just David doing what David does. Oh, this is looking pretty. This is some really, really nice examples of cue ball control here. I don't think David likes that 1 game separation anymore. Decided he's going to do something about that. Tap into the 8 ball. Could get on either side of the 9 ball, but I believe he's going to try to keep this one simple and just nudge it in. Take the 9 on the right side, but we'll see which way he chooses. Comes up a little high. That's okay. It can't all be straight in. Nicely done. 7-5. Definitely a bit of an art. I've kind of been watching a little bit here, and neither one of the players are really trying to work towards any kind of pattern breaks or anything like that, which is great to see. We've seen those wings line up in different directions. They've always put the 9 ball behind the 9, the 2 ball behind the 9. That was not something that was talked about beforehand, at least not while I was in the room. It's just one of those kind of things that that's where it should go.
Somehow they'll get popping with the ball, and I'm aiming.
Both of them have been following
through, or
that is that sort of unspoken rule.
I think whenever I come through, up is lower, so I'm aiming higher. That's the only thing I can think, because I'm aiming just below the center, trying to get a good pop.
I think we'll see a push here. Just going to leave the edge of that 1 ball to be seen. Definite art behind a push shot. Mir comes back to the table. He's got a choice of being able to do to either take the shot or give it back to David. And the whole thing is David wants to push that to somewhere that that he feels comfortable with taking that shot if it's given back to him. But most of the times, you want the opponent to keep the shot in hopes that they might not know what to do with it. A little bit of a great roll there. I think he's got enough of the edge of it. I believe he had enough of the edge of it to possibly make it, but it was pretty thin going over there. We're gonna force this one into the side pocket down here. Force that cue ball forward, I believe. You get the top side of that too, but I see him queuing up a little lower, like he's gonna draw it back. He's a little bit longer shot going up that direction, but got to go with what the player's comfortable with. It runs that one up nicely. A little out of position on the 9 ball, or excuse me, on the 3 ball, but that 3-9, although it's a possibility, that's a tough shot. Last thing you want to do is hang that 9 ball. Looks like he is calling that. Oh, 3 went right by. Alright, that's why I'll just sit back here and I would say shut up, but that makes commentary a whole lot more boring. Beautiful shot on the 4 ball. Doesn't want to get too close to that 5. That doesn't look too terribly bad. Touch more of a cut than what he'd like to have, but that cut might actually help him get very nicely on that 7 ball. We're doing exactly what he should. That's taking a really good look at this shot. Not underestimating it. Knows that he doesn't need to put too much on it. Needs to make the 5 and not let that cue ball travel too much. Came in maybe a touch further than he wanted to, but otherwise pretty good shot there. We can say a whole lot of different ways that we would like to be able to stop that ball with a little bit more distance on it, but again, he's the one that put that ball in the pocket, so nicely done. Comes up a little bit short on that one. I'll be looking at that next ball a little bit too much. Like myself, welcome to amateur mistakes, as I do it all the time. David looking pretty good here. David playing that one to the bottom rail. He's a little off angle, but this time 2 out of 3 for that tougher angle.
That's tough.
All right, so got a little quiet over here in the chat area. I'm gonna start talking to me again before I run out of things to say, which does not usually happen. Once again, like we were talking about before, just no pattern rack attempts. 3 ball this time's out on the wing, 2 still back there behind the 9. Both these guys are playing it about as straight up as they can, and they always will. They're friends inside and outside of the pool room, and that's some of my favorite matches to watch.
Concentrate.
For those people over here on our YouTube channel, I don't see a whole lot of conversation. Now, I know most of the people that watch it on YouTube are watching it on like a TV or something like that, so it kind of takes away some of the comment ability. But if you happen to be watching from tablet or phone or things like that, I always love to see some of the comments. We get a lot of people that they come and join us from time to time um, on YouTube, and I don't get the pleasure of being able to see some of the different names that join us. So I always like to see not only the names, but where some of the people actually tuning in from, because we've actually gotten people from sort of around the world and some countries that I've never even heard of, and that's always super cool. Because here we are, as we've talked about before. This is at a home, so some of the different people that join us, it becomes a little humbling at times that people from so many different areas, whether in or outside of this country, are able to find us and be able to appreciate and join the stream up here with us. Again, we thank the people that are right down the road as well. There, once again, taking a good look. He knows that the 5 is going to take a little bit of work. He's got to watch the speed a little bit coming back down table. Plays that one in a nice way. I know some players like to swing that one out and come back around. I actually like the path that he just took there. You get a little bit broader range of where it's supposed to be instead of coming across the green. Mr. Greg over here on YouTube, thank you very much for joining us. David doing a nice job of setting that one up the table. I think he's left an open hit. Going to be up to Samir to try to either go for it or stop it. That 8 ball is there to be able to, if he wants to separate those out, it's there to be able to help that out a little bit. Cue ball would fit nicely behind it. Looks like he's going on the other side. Unless that ends up in a very nice position, this is going to be an open shot, long shot, but an open shot for David. And Don Martin, thank you for that. I know you got it up on the big screen in front of that beautiful table at your place. Okay, so we're making an assumption that that's where it is, but pretty sure that Samir is not going to give this one back. Maybe taking a little step outside to recover from that one. I see Greg over here. He's proven the point that he's on both. Ooh, caught that very, very center ball. It dies on this top rail. Long shot coming back for Samir. And Samir just missing the cut a little bit on that 9, but that goes back that spot shot that we were talking about a little bit ago. People that play straight pull, people that play one pocket, they force themselves to learn that one. That was an uncharacteristic miss from David there. But they force themselves to learn that spot shot because it comes up so often. So that whenever the object ball is maybe a few inches below or a few inches above the spot, they can still make that one. That's a money ball shot in those particular games. Those of us that have a tendency to stick a little bit more to 8, 9, or 10 ball, we don't have to shoot that one quite as often. Nowhere close to as much as you do in those other two games. So we don't learn it quite as well as some of those do. A beautiful shot by David on that. Let's take one more look at that.
Especially on a diamond.
All right, let's see if he can make it twice in a row. Well, imagine that. All right, looked as pretty as the first time. Good shot, David, if you're watching later on.
I know if I cut that normal.
So that brings them up to 9-5. We'll see if they go ahead and continue. This does hit the halfway point per se. We may go ahead and continue on. They are. They'll probably play a couple more games. Usually the players, when you hit about the halfway point, they'll go ahead and take a break real quick. I guess since they had a break not too long ago. Going to go ahead and continue on.
Didn't have as much that time. We'll see how it's much forward.
Gonna get that bump he needs.
Earlier I was getting like it was clean shot.
Nothing goes in the pocket. Not a super easy layout for Samir. One he had to be a little bit careful of there. You can see that he's got a little bit of traffic, so the 2 is makeable. Drawing off of it is difficult. Going forward is difficult. There's so much traffic in the way. I don't know if that's a missed shot or if he elected not to make it. Either, I think that was one of those that electing not to make it. Probably not a terrible idea. David's going to kick this one up table, I believe. Nope, decides to go ahead and make it in good shape on the 3.
That one is good.
Good try.
Oh, I did.
Oh, God's helped him out for that good try. He ball stays on the bottom rail, but it's far away from that 3 and throws 3 balls in the way in the process. Kick is very blocked by that 5 ball sitting over there, so unless he's going to kick 2 rails, so kind of a variation of a Z shot. I don't know if I'd call a pocket or just close my eyes and swing on this one. Oh, that was a really good attempt, too.
That's 2 times. That was a little bit, so a little bit of spin.
It's that with a full head of steam there. It's a little long. Still got a shot on the 4 ball. Just going to go up a little higher than expected. Decides not to put it into that side pocket. I don't believe that was an actual attempt at making the ball as opposed to just separating the 2 out. Try to get a little bit better position on the next one. See, David's probably going to be in defense mode on this one. Stick that 9 or the 5 behind. I don't know why I said 9. Stick the 5, the 4 behind the 5. Never mind. Just look at what he did. I believe that's a good hit there. It leaves a makeable shot for David here in the side pocket. Oh, gotta slow down, cue ball.
Soft enough not to stretch.
Oh. Gonna get a lot slower when he gets down to the ball return. Mirror comes back to the table with my ball run out. Little draw stroke here. Oh, kind of jumps up on the shot, ends up kind of rattling that bottom pocket. It's another one of those that I believe that's an underestimated shot. I think he was worried too much about whether or not that shot was going to go in, as much as he was trying to get on that 7. Both of them end up being a problem. Looks like both of them caught a little bit of the shanks. We know from prior shots that they're both better than those last couple that we've seen. They're going to shoot the bank shot, I'm sure, here. We just got to decide if he's going to slowly roll that in, try for the 8 in the side. Yeah, that's where that one kind of becomes tough. It rolled a little bit longer than he expected on that one, as opposed to go ahead and playing that with a little bit more speed and trying to just come below the 8, shoot that up in the top left corner. That's still a makeable shot, and if he makes it, a little bit of a kill shot, a little bit of bottom inside, or bottom right in this example. It will stop very nicely down there for the 9 ball. It doesn't have to really do too much, just make the 8 ball. He's taking a long look at that one. He's obviously not too comfortable with the way that that's sitting. Makes it anyway. Alright, 9-6 back within 3 games. That one's definitely going to travel to the far side. Sends it back up table. Moving on to the next rack. Alright, looks like the players are going to take a quick break, so while that is going on, we'll throw up one of my personal heroes, CJ Wiley over here, and watch that for a couple minutes, and we'll be right back.
Hello everybody, this is CJ Wiley. I'm here with Billiard Live Stream to show you some fundamentals that will help you with your game. One of the things that is a little bit of an issue is our bodies aren't designed to play pool. So there's some little techniques that you can use so that you can maximize your ability to shoot, preferably where you get the feeling that you're shooting right out of the center of your chest. The best way to connect to anything, whether you're talking to somebody or let's say you're shooting a basketball or throwing a dart or pitching a coin, is right out of the center of your vision. You want your 2 eyes to work together, and then the cue will naturally go down where it's appropriate for you, but you want to be able to use your eyes to align with, not your body, but your eyes. Just like shooting a pistol, you want to look at the target, then you want to put your gun on the target and shoot. In this case, you want to put the cue stick on the line and shoot. Now to do that, it starts with the feet. That's the foundation of your game. So I look at this, my body as a structure, and I want to make sure that foundation is set right first. So the right foot if I'm using this cue as the line of the shot, is on that line, but it's turned. So the ankle bone is on the line of the shot. The left foot is parallel to that line. And the reason is, if I just relax and just raise my hand up, it goes right in front of my eyes. And that's where I want it on every shot. So I want to preset my body to put that left hand, which is the aiming hand, in an ideal position every time with as little effort as possible. So the left foot is parallel to the line, the right ankle bone's on the line, and what I want to do is I want to step laterally straight over, or I could step a little bit up, but I do not want to step, when I step, I don't want to step back because it'll pull me to the left of the line. And that's something I want to guard against, because when I step, I want to step and get my hips back right away so my head doesn't move. If I don't do that and I step to the left, my head will just go to the left. So I step and get my hips back simultaneously. That keeps my head on that line. So then all I do is I lead with my hips. I push my hips back because that clears way to be able to go down right straight on the line of the shot. I want to feel like I'm shooting out of my chest, just like if I made a robot that had like human body characteristics. I'd want to put the cue right under its visual center, and then it would just go up to the shot, it would lower, and then a mechanism would come back and shoot the shot. In this case, I'm going to do the same thing. And if you notice, if I'm the robot coming down, this is how I actually am. I'm shooting right out of the center of my chest. So when I go up to this shot, what I do is I get my right ankle bone on the line of the shot, I step and get my left foot parallel, and then when I'm getting ready to shoot, I step, get my hips back, and then all I do is just push my hips back to go down on the shot. It's much like this. If this is my head and this is my hips, instead of what most people are doing, going down with their head, I want to get in an ideal position and just push my hips back, and it'll make my head go right down. If you watch from the side, when I do that, my hips go back and my head goes right down on that line of the shot. You can tell that I'm doing it with my hips, because when I come down, if I was just to raise naturally, see how my chin is raised, because I'm using my hips to make my head go down. That's really important for consistency. So when I go up to this shot, I set my right ankle bone, left foot parallel, I step, hips back, and then I just push my hips back to go straight down on the line of the shot. And then when I shoot, I just bring my hand back and return it. And I really get a good feel for the pocket and the shot. You know, you hear the pros talk about a feel for the pocket. Well, this is what's going to maximize that for you when you're looking at it straight on. You don't want to be turned, you want to be straight on. So anyway, this is CJ Wiley.
Which will make it
try that
exactly
for yourself. I think you'll like it. If you want to know more about my fundamentals, techniques, and systems, join me at cjwiley.com. Until then, I'll talk to you later.
Looks like they're coming back into the room over here. You can see Samir did the smart thing, and that was getting a little more practice in. David also did the smart thing for him, and that was taking a little bit of a breather.
Oh, go ahead, my brother called.
So 9-6, 3-game difference. Roughly halfway through the match. I'm sure that Samir does not want this to be the halfway point. Mr. Matt Scott, haven't seen you out the last few weeks out at league play. Thank you for the stars. We always appreciate that, but just as much, I'd like to see the views. Get some decent views going on tonight. Of course, whenever we take a break, and we always expect, we take a little bit of a break, then we lose a few. Hopefully, they'll come back. For those of you that stuck around with us, thank you very much. Those YouTube people, man, y'all are hardcore. Stayed through the whole time. Okay, with a big stretch, we've definitely found a little bit of a chink in the armor there. He does not like shooting over a ball. I would love to say that I was good at that, but nope. Pitch is a little bit on the strong side. That was really close to being buried behind that 6. Nice attempt. Oh, but look, little stroke of genius there. Is everything going to clear out of the way? No, everything's going to get in the way. David, a big decision. I don't think he's going to hit this one very hard. We're going to see him sort of touch that 2 ball, see if he can get it to go around that 5, separate the 2 out. And actually, I really like that decision he just made. He definitely had the opportunity to be able to separate those out. And it looks like Samir's going to do just that. Not trying to make this ball. He's just going to put the 2 on the other side of the 5. It up just a little bit. The only thing I don't like about that is that Samir did not get himself out of trouble, and David's going to hit this ball. But Samir does have a shot here. This is one of those that I know you can carry him off of it. I'd actually like to, I don't know if he was trying to stay behind the 9 or if he was actually trying to make that one. I like the combo opportunity on that one. You shoot the carom, 2 ball goes all the way up table, and that cue ball stays down on that bottom rail. It makes for a bad time, but now we're up to David having a shot, sinks that right in the corner pocket, no problem at all. Sure, he wanted a lot more distance on that one. Might have caught that cue heavy into it, and Samir not with the most promising shot here. See if he goes into a defense mode himself. David shooting the 6 wood, what I'm sure is going to be a defense here. A little inside English to make sure it stays right behind that 9, and a great shot. I don't expect this one at least to be attempted for the side pocket. That way it's easier to leave it on the 7 ball. I believe he's going to end up going back for his jump cue before this is over with. Like he wants to kick at it. Time to bring out the inner Efren Reyes. Leaves David with a hit on the 6. We'll see if he decides he wants to play that one in a more offensive manner. Whole lot of English. You can see that cue ball still spinning around out there. Undercuts that one a bit, and if that gets a bounce, David's going to be sitting nice. Ooh, overcuts that one just a tad. You see that 7's just a little bit past. That was a tough cut there. Almost puts that one right in the side. Would have been nice for where that cue ball ended up by the 8 in the side, but nevertheless, Samir back to the table. Good run out opportunity. You can just slow roll that in, play the 8 over close to him, or run that around 2 to 3 rails, get himself back on the 8. Looks like he chooses the ladder. Wants that to slow down a hair. A little more of a cut than he wanted, but still a makeable shot. Has to play it more defensive, wants that to slow down. David comes back to the table with a cut. Somehow manages to overcut that one just a little bit. This one gets a little tricky for Samir. So that is a very makeable 8 ball. If you're not careful, that top left pocket over there Starts to become really, really large. Stay away from that pocket. So he has a tendency to make the shot a little tougher. Right, makes that one. That's going to come around nice. That's a great shot from Samir. Finds the 9-ball in the pocket, no problem. It's going to move that up. 7-9. David's still in the lead by a couple of games.
People on split for the pocket, right? I would say okay. A little different. Believe me, so.
All right, David come back to the table. He's a 5-ball shot. 4-ball run out. Looks like he's going to get pretty good. 6, probably wanted to come up just a touch more. I think he's just fine considering where that 7-ball's at. Pretty solid at the moment. Sends that one a little bit long. Oh, catches the coin. Is he going to get lucky with the leave? Just an extra quarter roll. Not going to make him shoot that one. Going to bring this within one game. 9-8.
Just across the side like that. Huh? You don't miss him? On that fire, man. What was next?
So once again, like we were talking about before, both of them playing pretty straight up. Two still sitting there behind the 9 ball.
I wasn't sure. I didn't want to go to.
Samir coming in, asking whether or not he had marked that one. David very quick to tell him that, nope, you got one more. So, again, a lot of sportsmanship that goes on out here in general. And these two are no exception to that rule. Looks like one ball's down. He's got a hit on the 1 ball. I believe about as much as he can see is as much as he would need to make it. But you can see that 2 ball back up the table. A little bit of traffic in the way. Has to play that one a little bit more defensive.
Oh.
Ends up double kissing it.
No, I pay attention.
It's got not only an easy shot on the 1, easy way to get back up onto the 2. Comes across that one nicely. Wants that to slow down. Don't get behind that 5 ball, but sure enough, full gods do what they do. It looks like he's going for a jump cue over here, and this is a tough hit. That's a long distance to get over the 5 and immediately get down on that 3 ball. But no problem for David. Makes a great hit on it. We're going to try to shoot this one all the way up in the corner. Probably wants to hold it if he can. That's a good job. You can actually go ahead and take that one up to the, well, now that we've switched angles, down to this bottom left corner. He can't imagine he's going to want to shoot that in the side, but he may. It's kind of one of those dealer's choice kind of options. If he likes the side pocket, obviously on most tables, including this one, side pockets are a little bit larger. I think it's going to take a little bit more finesse with the cue ball. Makes the shot, and that one's pretty unlucky. Definitely didn't see that one happening, and obviously he didn't either. He wouldn't have shot it that way. David, 4 balls, ball in hand. Not going to give him the commentator's curse, but he's got a better than average chance of getting out on this one. It's a little straight. It should be okay. Again, this goes back to the conversations earlier that he's perfectly okay with the spot shot. Make sure that he wipes his feet on the way in on that last one, though. And he'll make this more times than he'll miss it. Great job. 10-8. Mr. Trexler and Mr. Cahill. Now that's a match I want to see again. I enjoyed the last one. I don't care which day we play on. On this one, they kind of switched it up a little bit. So you see the 2 and 3 are immediately behind the 9 ball, which means they're going to find other ends, opposite ends of the table, typically. David's probably getting ready to prove me wrong here just because I said that. That's going to be a bit more of a split there. And, yep, prove me wrong. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. Little separation and a ball between that Q and 1. 7 jumps all in the way, and that would be a very difficult. I don't think he's going to break out a jump Q. I know that I would, and that's a long distance. That's 6 sitting there. There's a whole lot that can go wrong with this shot. Might as well just try to kick at it, but now he's got to find the right spot, which is, I believe, going to be a little closer to that side pocket than where he's pointing now. Closer. All right, good hit. That one comes right out in the open, leaves David not only close to straight in shot, but the exact angle that he would need to put both of those, 1 and 2, in that same pocket. And David's got a good angle to make sure he gets on the 3, comes straight across. That is not what he wanted. That might be what I wanted. It looks like he does have an open hit on the 3 ball. He might have an open shot. He's kind of out in the open, so he could go ahead and try for this one. Oh, but there's those pool gods again. A little bit of a bad roll. Samir, unfortunately, finds himself back in a little bit of trouble. We're going to take this one a couple rails coming back up. It seems like that 6 is an awful lot in the way to go that particular direction. Does make the hit. Nothing catches a rail, unfortunately. Good attempt, but it's really a difficult way to be able to get around that one. Again, a lot of times you have to go with your gut. Gotta watch the speed on this one, or is that going to come up perfect? This is once again where I should keep my mouth shut. David ends up very nicely. Cue ball is going to track itself right towards that 8 ball. Mr. Justin, how's it going tonight? Good to see you join us for the stream. David finishes that one out. One more game in the bag. Moves that up 11-8. Still doing a great job of keeping the lead. A couple little struggles here and there. I think both of them have shot pretty good tonight. I believe by the time this is over with, it's starting to look like it's going to come down to who got that last roll that they needed. David came right out of the gate at the beginning of this. Not only did he go up 4-0 at the beginning, But I believe by the time he was on the third game, he had already had the first break and run. Samir's very first shot was a jump shot. Second shot was still hooked. A tough way to go there. Samir goes ahead and motions over to David to go ahead and pick it up himself. Again, great display of sportsmanship between the two of them. I think we need a little more of that in the pool world. So throw a little trust out there. David gets himself kind of stuck back on that bottom rail, and I know David well enough to know there's two things that he's not real fond of. Number one, as we've seen tonight, being jacked up over a ball, and number two, sitting on the bottom rail. Of course, once again, as I say that, what does he do? He's sitting on the rail. He makes a great combo, called combo, that forward and side. Starting to think he lives his life to prove me wrong. Didn't know it was that important to him. Oh, great shot. 2-9 combo can't go in there much better than that. Let's take one more look at that one. He didn't take a whole lot of time deciding that he was going to go ahead and drain that one. That's just great work. Wayne Caffrey's joined us. I've heard your name come up a couple of times today. None of those in the chat by the two people that are sitting in this room. Even a third if you want to count me. Glad you joined us though. You need to get your butt back over here. Wait, Wayne Caffrey saying he's busy? Man, you ain't got a lot of me. We've met you before. Yeah, that whole running your own business thing. I'm pretty sure that's pretty easy. It's what all the poor people tell me. Now, if nothing else, you got to come over here and teach me how to play a little bit of one pocket, because Lord knows I need to learn. If I ever learn defense, then I know how to play one part of this game. Justin, good call out there. And it's funny that you mentioned about the Mosconi. If you remember, and it's been a few years now, I'm going to guess that this was, probably 6-7 years ago, when Efren Reyes won the Derby City Classic. He played the whole tournament with running English. And again, to your point, making this a very easy game. We'll even kind of go one more with that story. I recently just got a new cue, switched from a Z3 to a 314.3, and decided that, while I'm trying to get used to the larger diameter, decided that I wanted to kind of calm that stroke down, not try to crank everything, not trying to use so much English on every shot. And I honestly, over the last couple of weeks, I've been playing with that. Have never shot as good as what I have over these last few weeks. So that even though I ordered a Z3 to go with the new cue, it actually has not even touched a ball yet. So a whole lot of truth in keep this game simple. And we're actually seeing it here. We're seeing a lot more stop shots. We're seeing a lot less cue ball flying around the table. David ran that one out very well. Dragon Billiards Instruction. Is that Justin? Is that a site that we should be looking at? I'm always up for trying to learn one more thing. That way, I'll know two things. The last little bit of roll, and of course something has to find its way between David and that one ball. No, Michael, I 100% agree. The cue that I got, I'm 100% behind you. That is not what made it better. It's the fact that I stopped trying to overcomplicate the game. So, absolute. It doesn't matter. I could have picked up a straight house cue and probably would have seen a lot of the same results. I love the new cue. It feels great. Everything about it is great. So I give all the compliments to the maker of that one. But what definitely changed the game is me deciding to simplify things until I got used to it, and I realized that simplifying things is what made it all so much easier. So hopefully I won't get back into the bad habits of trying to take that small shaft and try to overwork a cue ball just because you can. Some of the best players that I know in this area never hit a ball hard, never try to use a ton of English. They just make the game look so simple. Justin, I'm gonna check that one out. So anybody that's actually watching right now, make sure you take a look at the link that, and this is on the Facebook feed. You can go to it at any point in time. It'll still be here. Make sure you check that out. I'm kind of curious. It's mirroring it out with the better side of that one, bringing it back within one game. We're definitely getting into the latter parts of this one. Samir's going to need to get a few rolls here. Get this one pushed forward a bit. Oh boy, yeah. If there's ever anybody that I can respect how well they play pool, but never ever ever want to take lessons from, Mr. Evan On. I think I saw him jump on here earlier. I don't know if you're still on, but you will no. That guy is he's in a class of his own with the way that he hits a shot, and it's one that I have no intentions on trying to learn. Yeah, see that one. I think that one goes back to a lot of what we were just talking about before. Just a little, a little bump shot, into that corner instead of trying to put a larger draw on it. I think comes out with a little bit better result. A little overcut on the 2 ball there. He did have a hit on the on the 2 ball, but that was a tough shot. Samir's gonna come back to the table, and big question here is whether or not to try to hold it below that 6 ball or to go up table a little bit more. Looks like he's gonna hit a little slower. That right hand English did help him out a lot there. Kind of reaches down once again, kind of stabs at that one a little bit, and one of the things that I also like to see, a lot of the players or I shouldn't say a lot of the players, unfortunately not enough players, is being able to see that opportunity for a bit more refined pre-shot routine, being able to kind of do the same thing, get yourself into that state where everything before your shot, even everything after your shot, kind of stays the same. Trying to basically make everything a little bit more robotic. Seems to be a lot of things that we could mirror from watching a lot of pros and the things that they do. We're seeing a little bit of tonight with some quick sort of stab type of strokes and some that are really following through nice. Made shots go in both directions, but that consistency for those of us that are amateurs, it might be something to kind of do like these guys. They'll come out here, they'll actually both go back and watch this, and they'll see some of the different things that they're doing, and they'll even come back and I really appreciate the fact that they'll come back and kind of tell me some of their thoughts on their own shots. But you get to, even if you're taping it at your house with your cell phone, you get to see kind of how you're shooting, mistakes that you might see other people, but you never knew that you did yourself. And it's a real big help to a game. You don't have to be in this kind of setting, with all of this kind of setup in order to be able to see what your stroke looks like. Grab your phone, grab a camcorder, grab whatever you've got around, and see if you're doing the same thing. But you have to get past the fact that you're trying in front of the camera, and you're only doing this because you've got the camera turned on. And like whenever you're doing something that's longer races, you'll forget that the cameras are on. I can promise you that before it's over with, and go back to natural good or bad habits. All right, a lot of distance between those two. Great place to leave that. You can't get much further away than what that is. Once again, big separation between the two. He'd love for that to get behind the 9 ball, but again, shooting it that way, it's pretty much nothing good that could happen except for everything. This is one of those that I could, because of that distance, I could almost see Samir wanting to go for this. Looks like he's still playing defense. We'll know as soon as it comes off the tip. Ooh, that was dangerous. All right, David keeps doing the same thing, and it's still working. Oh, see, that's what I get for turning around. Right, nicely done by Mayor. It did not come back as far as I thought it would, and obviously not as far as he thought it would. Oh, well, there won't be two shots at this 9-ball. Or at least not two misses. Once again, another little bit of a mistake by Samir there.
I played safe on the 8 there. All skidded and then squirted out on me. I put it out.
Mr. Tim Brown, how's it going? You can't say wow on that shot. I'm sure I've done that at least 3 times against you. Good to see you on the stream now. Ooh, push that one straight through the top. Almost scratches, but actually ends out pretty good. She's got enough separation on it.
It really is.
You can go ahead and play that one ball.
The ball sits there for a minute and then takes off.
Play that at the top rail, and don't see a whole lot in the way. I can't imagine that 5-ball is going to get into play. Ooh, but he slugs that one. I think I'm not sure if we're seeing a little bit of fatigue potentially out of the players. We know very well that both of them aren't going to make a lot of these mistakes. I mean, we're a few games in. Good choice there by David. Instead of trying to force something, get it back there behind another ball. Ryan Ambrose, how's it going? You found me a place to get wood cheaper? Ouch. Guess that scratch wouldn't have mattered too much with the miss on the 2. David's plan worked out so far. Got a little tap in on the 5-ball on the side, uses the entire pocket to get there. Comes out alright, got a nice angle. Force that a little bit forward. Get up on the far side over there. Wow, finds a way to bobble that pocket. Again, that's just not shots that David would typically miss, or either one of these guys would typically miss. Oh my God! Is that really the price now? Holy smokes! Alright, gets a nice little nudge on that 9-ball to sort of help that one get over there a little bit. Thank you for the stars, Mr. Ambrose. Is that the last amount before you got to the full 500? Yeah, that stuff's gotten crazy. Got a whole nother bar I want to build over here on the other side of the room, and not at these prices, it'll cost more than diamond tables. Mr. Brown, thank you very much. A nice open break. Cue ball kind of falls itself over on the right hand side, makes it a little tougher. He's got a piece of the one that he can see. So that's a tough offensive shot. It looks like he's going to go ahead and do a push here. I think that's a good choice. Oh, if you get behind the 8, you're going to get it back. Well, David can see the piece of that one. But luckily for Samir, David can't get to his right-hand side or our left-hand side of that one, send that cue ball down table. But he can send the one ball down table. Looks like he's even calling for the cut. I think he's just trying to... I don't know what that was. $70 a sheet. Holy crap. Brian, I think we both know how ridiculous that is. It's only double the normal price. He's got plenty of room to be able to make the one. He uses the whole pocket, successfully goes in. Big stretch to get down to that 2 ball. But the 3 is wide open. Actually, every ball out here is wide open. You have to be a little bit careful about how you get on the 6. So wants to watch this one a little bit. Sure, he wants to have a little bit of an angle. He's creating a lot of angle, and it needs to slow down a little bit so it doesn't go too far. Once again, still an angle he can get on that 6. He just needs to leave it kind of within the first diamond of that right-hand side that we see over here. Left-hand side now, in order to be able to make that. Gotta be careful, that's coming around too fast. A little bit of a speed issue on that one. Tell you, if that cue ball doesn't get in the way, I think it actually does make it into that corner. And David comes back to the table. Long, relatively tough shot down here to this bottom left-hand corner. But nope, not that tough. Just put balls in pockets. That's what David does. It was a good shot there. Getting a little close to that side rail. Luckily, he doesn't have to do too much to it. Pocket that in, come back across the table. How's this corner pocket? Very nicely done. 15-10. David's within 3 games, so he is definitely seeing the finish line. So bringing billiards together forever. That's a pretty humbling comment right there. I really do appreciate that. We try our best up here, and we've had a lot of luck with some really great people that's come out here and joined us, and that's definitely what's helped us out more than anything. Whenever you're asking like how often they play, or you mean specifically like these two against each other, or in general? And I can answer the latter question, or I can answer both questions. This is actually the first time that the two of them have paired up against each other. As far as how often they play out here, we'll see Samir probably about once a month. He may come out here a couple of times in a month, and then not be able to for another month or so. David has been out here a few times. There's been a few one pocket matches, but probably I'm gonna say that on the stream he's been here about maybe 3 or 4 times in the last sort of year and a half, something like that. But he has come out here and just sort of shot with us a little bit more often than that. We don't always play. I mean, we don't always turn the stream on every time we shoot some matches, but really tries to stuff that one in, and got a good lead, but got a big bobble. And once again, that's that pro cut on a diamond table, or on pro cut on Eve table, as far as that goes, that you either find the center or you're shooting it that hard, and it is not going to find a pocket, or not stay in it anyway. And Action Media, thank you. Thank you as well. Definitely appreciate that, and we'll definitely keep it up as long as we can. So, darling, this is in, I don't know if you know where Riverview, Florida is, but we are actually just on the outskirts, just a little bit to the east side of Tampa, Florida. You see that he just wants to put a little top English, kind of drifted out. His speed was really nice there. Overcuts that one a little bit, and I'm sure that David's not going to try to do too much here, just pocket the shot. Leave himself a very makeable 9-ball. You can see him look back as exactly how big is that side pocket going to get. And David moves that to 16-10. 2 games from finishing this one off. So a little bit wild on that shot. Samir comes back with one of the breaks that he needs, and he's gonna need a few of them, but just gets down and stabs it. We talked about that one a little bit earlier. That's the biggest thing that's going on right now, is just kind of rushing a few of these, and this may be, I mean, if he's looking at the score, I know that it can become simple to decide I'm just trying to get this over with. Definitely not the attitude that you want to see. Samir has come from behind on more than a few occasions. And granted, it could just be misses, could be fatigue, could be something that's a little bit more difficult to sort of fight through. But when you start kind of coming out of a process of a good stroke, good smooth stroke, and start kind of poking at it a little bit, I always hate to see that when we're talking about people that are good shots, and Samir's up there. There's nothing wrong with his game at all. David looks like he's trying to decide how he wants to handle the potential 9-ball.
But
Nice to go ahead and pocket 2. It's a little unlucky on how it comes up, but I think he actually has enough to be able to make 3, but you can see how it's going to bounce around the table a bit, even if he was to make it. Is he going to get another roll out of this? No, kind of. Because whatever that long shot's not wanting to block, 5-ball looks like it's pretty close. That 4-ball is way down table. That was a smart shot by Samir, just once again putting that separation on it. Gets a big blocker by that 7-ball. Well, apparently we can't see through people. It's going to come around on the wrong side. It still has a cut, so maybe not so much the wrong side. And awful close. He's going to need a good speed here. Okay, much better. That's getting your head back in the game there. He's tried that shot a couple of times throughout the evening, and it really hasn't worked out. This time he goes and even pulls out the bridge and just hits it with a great speed, great angle, gets a good separation on the 2, and forces David to have to come with a shot. Now David gets a little lucky where that 7-ball ended up. Ooh, that was close, and I hope that 9-ball didn't get in the way. But Samir's got a little bit of a tough shot here. 2 things need to happen. Number 1, you got to make that shot. Number 2, you have to come back across the table a couple of times to make sure that you can get on the 7. That's a whole lot to deal with. David's going to have a much easier situation to deal with here. Oh, but we all know how easy combos are. Needs that to come around that 9-ball, does it nicely. Now, historically, for a lot of the shots that Samir's hit, he's actually using draw on this one. I'm kind of curious now to see if he decides to go ahead and play that one around a couple rails. Go ahead and spin that one back out. Looks like we're seeing a little top inside on this. And catch is a little strong, but well, strong or weak. I guess it depends on which side you'd want to get on, but he ends up at about the 50-yard line. A whole lot of different things can happen, but once again, that whole dealer's choice option is one of the worst things that can happen. You'd like to see an obvious shot, and this one's not it. Does he bank it? Does he cut it? Which side does he bank it to? I think it's going to go up a little bit high. And David, very makeable shot up table. On the hill. Good speed there. You can see which way that cue ball was tracking, but not an issue as far as he was concerned. He knows he didn't hit it hard enough for it to make it all the way up there. Alright, so let's see what we got. 17-10. David's on the hill. Mir needs 8. A whole lot of things have to happen. Do you just let this one go? If you're Samir, or you try to find a way out? Easy answer to that question is: are you going to just give up? You're going to try to play that champion role and figure out a way. I'm not going to say that you're going to win a whole lot of these battles by trying to come back through. This is one of those things that it kind of determines how a lot of people play. Because if you're trying to fight your way back out, if you're trying to make a win, then that's a great way to be able to play that sort of champion role, as opposed to give it up like this and try for a better spot or something like that next time. I would much rather try to see if I could dig my way out of this. That's, I think that's where you get to see what you're made of. Calling that up in the left corner over there. Jars the pocket. Samir causing some separation. And looks like he's trying his best to stay in it. I don't believe David's going to... looks like he definitely tried to make it, but not sure that's all what good was going to happen there, unless he was actually trying to miss it and it happened to have gone in. May not leave Samir a great shot, but he's definitely left him a good safety opportunity to get that cue ball down there behind that 9 and 6, or just make the 9. I like his option better. Well, only if you make it. 17-11, one game closer. Again, this is could be the first game back for a really big fight, and hope it comes up close. That would be quite the feather in Samir's cap. We're sticking with that middle table break. Does pocket a 7 ball there. We can see that 2 kind of stuck behind that 3 and 5. So once again, this kind of scenario, do you make that one ball? Comes out nicely. It's I don't know that he's going to necessarily have a offensive shot as much as we can see where that 9 ball is sitting over on the side. I think that 3 might be in the way, but this would be a great time to try to hide it as absolutely best as you can. Get that cue ball above that. Oh, he really hit that nice. That's a great shot. All right, this might be a short game here, and I wouldn't blame him at all for shooting that 2-9 combo. That wouldn't even worry about the safety. Just go ahead and make the ball. Oh, but don't make the cue ball. All right, nicely done. A couple more games in the bag for Samir, and this is where the swinging comes out. And now ball definitely traveling. When you gotta be a little bit more careful on where the push shot's gonna be. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and jump for it. I'm sure he's gonna call the 9 if he's pulling out a jump cue. And Justin, I agree. We're definitely not seeing quite the stroke that we've seen in the past. It looks like some of them are starting to get a little bit rushed. Last couple of games, there's been a little bit of good rolls and a little bit of very well played shots. He's going to get unlucky on this one too. But yeah, when you start seeing a player kind of shooting a little quicker than they did at the beginning, then that's kind of one of the big signs of one of two things: either fatigue or frustration, or the complements of both. And they're looking over at the monitor over on the right-hand side, and I know the end result's going to be that nothing hit a rail after this shot. So it should be ball in hand whenever you see him walk back over to the table. Again, that actually gives it gives one more option for the players, because whenever they look over there with the lag that going on the live stream kind of offers, they do kind of get that second look, and it definitely solves a lot of arguments. And we just saw once again, unfortunately, trying to hurry through a shot, and the unfortunate results of doing that. David kind of gets down, pokes at that one a little bit, ends up coming up short on a shot that he can make 10 out of 10. They're leaving a open shot there for David. They both seem to kind of be rushing it much more so than they did earlier in the match. Again, race to 18. I'm sure that there's plenty of people out there that do shoot long races like that, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. David jarring that pocket that was open. Now, this is one that If Samir decides he wants to try to cut this one in, obviously the cue ball is going to fly back up table. David going back for that jump cue again. He must be planning on going a little bit more full ball on this one, which means he's probably trying to cut that one. Doesn't leave Samir an easy shot. Oh, now that's a good shot if it stayed back there. Take a look, and it did. David's got at least a half ball to go over. So, Jameson, I don't have anything for tomorrow because of the tournament that we're going to be live streaming for the Cancer for All Colors that's here in town or over here in the Brandon / Tampa area. So for Sunday, I don't have anything at the moment, so I can't promise either way. I don't have anything scheduled to answer your question though. And then, unfortunately, next weekend, since I will be out of town, we definitely won't have anything then unless somebody breaks it. So, as you can see, game finishes up. Actually, since they're probably not going to mark that score, we'll go ahead and fix that for ourselves. Let me turn that off. Move that up to 18. As you can see, David went ahead and finished that one out while I was sitting here rambling. So hats off to David Williams on that one. Samir Mohamed, as always, putting up a good fight. Not necessarily one of his best matches since he's come out here, but he's still playing with somebody else's money at the moment. So good job by both of them. As always, we appreciate not only them coming out here and shooting a match for all of us to be able to enjoy, but everybody for joining the live stream and watching with us. We always appreciate the support. I will get flyers out as quick as we can. Again, for tomorrow, however, a whole lot of poll that's going on. Some of it will be streamed from this same channel as we go to the Cancer for All Colors tournament. There is another tournament that's going on across town that's over more in the Pinellas area. That is the Jeanette Lee Benefits Tournament. So regardless, make sure you're playing some pool this weekend. Until next time, or until tomorrow, I should say, roughly around 1 o'clock-ish. Hope to see you. And as always, thanks again for joining us, and we hope to see you soon.